Okay. So, yeah, you're going up against Evo Stevo.
Yeah. And one of the things I don't like, you know, I don't necessarily preach, but I think for these larger tournaments, it's actually important. Kind of scoping out who your opponents are and who they played and who they might have beaten. And I found out just looking at the tournament, Evo Stevo played House Stark in the beginning and handed House Stark an earlier loss. And what that triggers for me is, okay, you know, this is probably a different style of player. So maybe think a little bit more unconventionally about what they might run. And I think that helped me at least win the lead in the first match. Just because, you know, there's that little diagram. You start thinking about counters to counters, and then so whatever it was. I think I led with Wigglytuff into his Machamp, and I think that helped secure the victory in that first match, but don't quote me on that.
Okay. So, looking at his team, he is running a Charizard, Rhydon, Machamp, Wigglytuff, Sableye, Skarmory. So, pretty meta team. I guess the weirdest Pokemon, or the Pokemon that's least common, is Skarmory. Or Skarmory and Rhydon. Rhydon. If you see a Rhydon, it is running Mud Slap. I don't think it gets smacked down.
It does not get smacked down.
So you're that's where, like,
you know exactly what
what moveset he's running. You said that you were trying to look at who he faced and who he's beaten, and try to pick your Pokemon based on that.
Right. So I noticed right away that his Machamp has a pretty good matchup against half of my team. And I guess it's a neutral matchup against Machamp and somewhat neutral against Sableye, but it does take the win. So I'm thinking, okay, that seems too obvious. He's probably going to do that. Because I think this is one of those things where it's like, I don't want to necessarily overthink it, but knowing that he beat House Stark earlier, like, did he do some type of, like, mind trickery there? So again, it was more of a kind of an intuition just based on that. So I think I thought he was going to lead with Machamp, so I just led with Wiggly.
Okay. Wigglytuff has positive matchups against Rhydon, neutral to Wiggly, beat Sableye, and bad against two of his 6 Pokemon, right?
Yep.
So even leading Wigglytuff against his team is actually a pretty, like, in terms of percentages wise, that was also a pretty good move. So leading Wigglytuff, and do you remember what else you bring?
I'm sure Sableye's in there. No, there's no reason for Sableye in this one. Well, maybe there is. I don't remember.
Okay, well,
I'm sure Machamp is in there somewhere.
Okay, let's get into the battle against Evo Stevo.
Oh, nope, wrong.
So you do bring in Sableye. So you have Wigglytuff, Sableye, and Probopass. And, so like you mentioned, Wigglytuff versus Machamp. He switches out. And you have the hard counter to that, which is a Probopass.
Yep.
So here, I believe you're probably just going to farm down. Go ahead and eat this charge move. Leave less health for the Machamp to come back in and farm. And so you're going to get this Magnet Bomb right off against this Machamp.
And I think it's actually nicer to, like, farm Clefable down because it does get to the Meteor Mash, and it gives less health for the opponent to farm on Probo.
Interesting. Okay, so now you're up 2 shields and pretty much 2 Pokemon.
Right.
With 2 Pokemon.
I think it's going to be pretty hard to come back.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for your Evo Stevo to come back from this. He's running Heavy Slam instead of Rock Slide, so that's kind of interesting. It does give you the better, like, Charmer coverage, right?
Yep. And I don't know if you just saw that Foul Play does about, like, 55% of Rhydon's health too.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Rhydon is pretty squishy,
very squishy.
Which is why I feel like Rhydon Rhyperior. I might do a best breakdown on it later, but Rhydon Rhyperior, I feel like it's best used in, like, the lead or the first switch Pokemon. So for example, if you're leading a Charmer and you have Rhydon, if you get hard countered against with like a Probo Pass or like a Steelix or something like that.
Sure.
You can switch into Rhydon, deal some very fast, super effective damage with that Mud Slap. You might get 1 or 2, maybe 3 Mud Slaps in. Charge up to that Surf already. For whatever your hard counter is. Surf will deal neutral damage
to a lot of the meta.
A lot of the meta. So
not everything.
Yeah. And then and you have shield, so you might be able to get to a second Surf, put some more pressure on. Or if you use it as a lead, you have those shields to protect that Rhydon against those charge moves.
Yeah, I would say definitely agree. I don't think it's a good closing Pokemon. It's too squishy. The charge moves don't charge fast enough, and you only have Surf. It takes like 5 Mud Slaps to get to Surf.
Surf, you do have Stone Edge, so so if your opponent's saving Charizard in the back with no shields, like I just don't think that's something that you should depend on.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, let's get into the second battle. What would you think? What was your mindset here?
You know, I've been wrong a lot already in terms of picking the leads, and also just my recall in terms of what people use. So I'm not even going to guess this one.
I mean, like, you did get the last...
I did get the last one. That was a very circuitous way of getting to the right lead. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's going to use Rhydon again just because I know that Rhydon is so good against my team. So I knew I had to fend Rhydon off at some point. And I don't know if he was going to necessarily lead with it. But I knew I had to bring something to account for Rhydon. So I think I bring Machamp in this time. I'm not sure if I led with it or not, though. Why don't we just go to the battle and see?
Okay.
Yeah. I actually don't remember this one.
Okay. So you lead with Alolan Marowak.
My recall is just terrible.
So Alolan Marowak will have positive matchups against Machamps, Wiggly, and Skarmory. So not a bad matchup. You get another positive matchup. I just got
really lucky there too.
So this Sky Attack you can take this Sky Attack, and it looks like you do. And you're gonna go ahead and get to Shadow Ball, but you farm up, and he switches into Sableye.
Oh, look at that!
I don't know if it matters. You're probably gonna. And you don't get the shield.
That was a really slow switch. That was a really slow switch out.
Yeah, that was a really slow switch out, but he wasn't able to knock out your Alolan Marowak. So
I think I got super lucky there.
You can come in with the Shadow Ball.
Yep.
And hit something at the end of the battle when shields are down. So that could make a difference. He's able to get a Sky Attack.
But I also forgot how much energy I farmed.
Man. Yeah.
Like I literally don't remember how much energy I had because I threw the Bone Club.
Yeah.
So I knew I was a little bit short of energy, but I didn't know how much energy I had farmed.
Yep.
So you're gonna see a little bit of a mistake here. So he comes in with the Machamp.
Get this foul play off.
I don't think I charged enough for 2. So I'll have to do
one shield. Get 2. Ooh, the Machamp's attack stats higher than Sableye's, right? So it gets that. Get the second foul play off.
So I think this was me not remembering how much energy I had. I could have just went for the Shadow Ball.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So very noob mistake. I mean, I think I got really lucky to come out with a victory in this one.
Yeah.
I definitely made some poor plays there. Took too long to switch out. And I don't know why I took too long to switch out. I think it was I didn't know what he was going to come in with, so I didn't want to necessarily do a blind switch in, lose that way. So I think he actually had to run for the third one, so we couldn't do that third battle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you won that round 2-0?
2-0.
Yep. So that last round was kind of an interesting...
I got very lucky.
Yeah.
He made a really great switch with his with the Sableye coming into the AWAC, and I think it was a nervous, I'm going to hit this charge move just so I could, make that switch right after.
Yeah.
But I think,
And he was able to call it, too. Like, Shadow Ball would have... Well, he didn't call it. He might have just guessed. It was pretty much a 50-50 chance, whether it be Bone Club or Shadow Ball.
And Shadow Ball at that range wouldn't have knocked Sableye out.
No, but it would have dealt a significant amount of damage, right? So if getting hit by a Shadow Ball will still hurt a Sableye. So
yeah, so definitely not a very clean win, but I'll take any win.
A win's a win. A win's a win. So jumping into this next round, though, you are facing off against TC Man 5190.
Yeah, I think he just beat Salty too, so
okay.
We're gonna get revenge.
So Salty is a local battler to our area. And so facing up against his team, we have Probopass, Machamp, Rhyperior, Haunter. This is the first time seeing Haunter in this tournament, which is kind of interesting. I would think Haunter would be a little bit more popular, but I guess
think Wiggly scared him off.
Really? Yeah. Wigglytuff, Sableye, those are two of the more common meta Pokemon that will counter Haunter pretty well.
Mm-hmm. And Haunter was actually something that Dobby K9 so Dobby K9's another really great battler, and we've been friends since like Ghost Stadium first came out, and I actually got to meet him in person at this tournament, so that was awesome. But during our practices, he always had a Haunter, and my line always had a Wigglytuff and Sableye. And I was able to basically convince him to not use Haunter anymore because of how much Wiggly and Sableye dominate Haunter.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised that Haunter was less prevalent, but it's still scary nonetheless, right? Like if you don't have Wiggly or Sableye in your line, then you're kind of screwed. But you can tell that he also brought a Charizard instead of AWAC. I think if he had both Haunter and AWAC, I think that's a pretty bad combo to have together, just because of how much Sableye dominates both of them.
Yeah, Haunter Charizard is definitely a more favorable combination against a Sableye, right? And Sableye is going to be prevalent in most tournaments. I feel like a lot of people had people from regionals last year. People for it, I guess, just general Great League, people that know how to use it because it is a tricky Pokemon to use because it has weird matchups across the board,
right?
Like very close matchups against matchups where you think you'll lose, and vice versa. So going into this first battle, what are you thinking?
Oh man, this is going to be me having terrible recall again. The Machamp still has a pretty good matchup, but I don't think he's going to use Haunter just because I have both Sableye and Wigglytuff on my team, so I think that's pretty safe, and I think AWAC would be pretty good against his line. Obviously not against the Rhyperior, but it'll beat the Machamp, the Charizard, and the Wiggly, so I think I have AWAC somewhere, maybe. I don't know, man. So it's all a blur. It's all a blur.
Do you remember what your lead was?
No clue.
Alright. Well, let's just get into the battle.
Let's do it.
So you lead off with Wigglytuff. So quick, I'm gonna pause it real quick. Wigglytuff has positive matchups against Machamp, Rhyperior, Haunter.
Haunter's
Haunter's neutralish because you're not doing very effective damage, and Haunter's doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like immune damage.
Right.
And then Wiggly neutral matchup. Yep. So 3.5 of the 6 Pokemon is going to be.
Well, I'm hoping he leads Rhyperior then.
Yeah. So let's see how it goes. Lead off with Wigglytuff. He leads off with Charizard. So this is
terrible.
A bad matchup for you.
What do I do? Safe swap
into Alolan Marowak. So you are assuming he doesn't have a Haunter.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to bring a Haunter.
Okay. Brings into a Rhyperior, but Alolan Marowak at this point has some energy. So these Bone Clubs are going to hurt, especially since we mentioned before Rhyperior is not the tankiest of Pokemon. So he is going to go ahead and shield this, but yeah, that energy advantage.
Right.
I was
able to get 3 Bone Clubs off.
Yeah.
And I was thinking in the moment, like, did I make a mistake by not just going for the Shadow Ball? But
no,
that's the right because move. I had that energy lead. I think that was the right move.
If he switched into Rhyperior a little bit earlier, he would have been able to knock you out just shielding 1. He's able to get this Surf off, and I think he ends up going Superpower. Okay, and he switches, which is kind of interesting. I would have personally just let my Rhyperior go.
Right, now he's switch locked.
Now he's switch locked against your Sableye, which isn't like the worst of matchups, but it's not the best of matchups, I guess.
And I knew it was a little bit too early for another Blast Burn, but I just wanted to preserve as much health on Sableye as possible.
Yeah.
Knowing that I could take out the Rhyperior. But I didn't know what else was in the back.
So this is probably going to be Surf right here. No, another superpower.
I think Surf would have been the better move.
I think
he has Machamp in the back. Yeah. Machamp.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm still getting used to calling it Machamp. But yeah,
I think this was super close too. I think he was right at the charge move.
Yeah. But well played for that first battle.
Didn't lost the lead, but found a way to come back.
Yeah. I wonder if that superpower on Rhyperior instead of Surf was played like
I do think that, yeah.
Because I feel like
I think a lot of people also think the Sableye, because it's dark and Ghost, it's gonna take neutral, but because Ghost is double resistant to fighting, it's still single resisted. I don't know if that's what he was thinking at the time. That's something I know I've learned the hard way. So sure. Hopefully he learned there.
All right. Well, I think you were correct in the thought that he didn't bring in Haunter, and you were able to bring in Alolan Marowak as a quote-unquote safe switch,
right?
And able to get a significant amount of energy before he brought in his Alolan Marowak counter. Alolan Marowak, it's a pretty hard counter to Alolan Marowak, but you were able to get that energy advantage and able to get 3 Bone Claws off on Rhyperior before Rhyperior was able to farm you down.
And he had to shield, or else the Rhyperior was basically going to be gone.
Yeah, it's either, so well played on your part. A little slow on his part.
Right.
But yeah, going into the second battle.
Well, I've been wrong many times, so I don't know. Let's see.
All right, let's get into the battle.
What do I do? Oh,
so you're running a Steelix.
Yeah. I think he runs Charizard again. Yeah.
Runs Charizard, but so that you're both dealing super effective damage, but his that was chunking away at that Charizard.
And I asked him like, "Oh, were you surprised by that moveset?" And I think it definitely caught him by surprise. So there's the Surf. I think that's definitely the right move.
Yeah, I think that's the right move because now you're not taking tons of damage from that charm. Like you'd be taking even more damage from that charm. Able to get to a second Surf right there, right?
And at that point, I just let him go because I knew coming in with a little bit of an energy lead would be helpful.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not afraid of the Haunter. I just didn't think he was going to bring it.
Yeah. So brings in Charizard, so both you guys doing not very effective damage with the fast moves. Go ahead and block this Dragon Claw. You're just farming, trying to bait his shield with this Bone Club.
He falls for it. Oh,
and he does! So you're able to get that shield. And you double shield your Alolan Marowak, which is the correct call because you use Blast Burn, which still would have done a significant amount of damage.
I don't know if it would have knocked AWAC from that range. I know this is going to be Dragon Claw, so I wasn't too worried.
Does a decent chunk of damage. Try to bait his last shield.
Come in with the Steelix to knock him down. And then knowing that I've already charged up energy in the beginning, I'll have an Earthquake ready by the time whatever comes in.
Will this knock out Machamp?
It better. Oh, look at that. I didn't get excellent.
You didn't get excellent. You missed it. But you were still able to knock out that Machamp with the Thunderfangs that came. Yeah, Thunderfang really knocked out Charizard. Usually, Charizard versus Steelix, that goes to Charizard most of the time because that Fire Spin dealing super effective damage, but that Thunderfang hitting Charizard for super effect, even without stab, that was hitting it so hard.
Is just very squishy, right?
Charizard is very squishy. It's just wow, seeing it in action. Man, I'm actually kind of shocked, making me like rethink my Charizard matchups. But yeah, able to take that out, and I would say a large part to that Thunderfang.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so you took that 2-0 as well, right?
Yep.
So 2-0, you're on a roll. That was the what was that? That's the fifth. This is the fifth round.
I think that was the 6th round.
That's the 6th round. So 5-1.
5-1 at this point.
Already secured your positive record.
That's all I was going for.
And yeah, so going into this 3rd round.
Going to this 3rd round, I remember this one
very
vividly because I was like, he hasn't used Haunter yet.
Uh-huh.
I think he's gonna use Haunter.
Okay,
so I let Sableye in this one.
Okay.
So let's see how that goes.
All right. So you think he's gonna? So yep.
I think he's gonna lead Haunter. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just because he hasn't used it yet.
Yep. And you guessed correctly. Predicted, as your fans would say, predicted.
I don't remember most of the stuff in this tournament, but that's one I definitely remember. And this is, again,
Farm City.
Yeah.
You're just gonna get a charge move sometime, and you can let this go. Because,
you don't worry about it at all.
Yeah. Do you think bringing both Steelix and Probopass was to your advantage in this cup?
I think so. I think it's because most people... Like, I don't know if I saw anybody else bring that pair. Mm-hmm. I definitely saw a lot of people bring the Probopass along with, like, a Rhydon and Rhyperior, but they're not necessarily tanks. Like, they perform such different... Like, they're closer to a fighter than they are a tank. I think it definitely threw people off. And I think the combination of Thunderfang along with Rock Throw gave me a lot more, I guess, versatility.
Yeah. I can see that.
And I was also debating, like, you know, the close combat on Machamp, but you can't consistently get the close combat in the matchup against Wiggly unless you come in with a little bit of an energy lead. So once I simmed that, I just kiboshed the whole idea of bringing close combat.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, after getting that lead, it's kind of hard to come back,
right?
Because Sableye versus Haunter is such a polarizing matchup, and
it's a polarizing matchup, but Shadow Ball still hurts like hell.
Yeah, it still hurts, but I feel like you still lose to it.
Yeah,
though, right? Like Sableye can still take that Shadow Ball,
right?
So no, but Haunter can't take one foul play. So you'll win that matchup one way or another.
And Shadow Claws are doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, versus neutral to Sableye.
Right.
I'm not saying that it's as bad as, let's say, a Wigglytuff to a Sableye. Wigglytuff to a Sableye, that's just hands down Wigglytuff all the way.
Right.
But I feel like as a lead, that's probably the worst matchup you can come across as a Haunter. Yeah, I would say so. Next one would probably be like a Scrafty, maybe. Scrafty resisting all the ghost moves. Alright guys, that'll do it for this video. The third part of this 4-part series of Zay's run in Portland's Rose Cup. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure you hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't already yet, please hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new content that I may come out with. But that'll do it. Until next time, guys, this is Bestinwest. I'll catch you guys later.